This video will show you how to create and edit your gradebook in your Blackboard Learn course. After you have added all of your course content that requires grading, such as assignments, discussion forums, and tests, to your course, you are ready to edit the gradebook. In your course menu on the left-hand side of your screen, look for the Course Management area. Select Grade Center, and then click on Full Grade Center. Here you will see all of the columns for all of the items that require grading, such as assignments, discussion forums, and tests. Click on Manage and then Categories. Here are all of the default categories and the graded items. The graded items have been automatically assigned to a category. Later you will assign a percentage to each category, but for now let's look at what items are assigned in each category. If the graded items in one category are of different weighted percentages, you will need to create a separate category for those items. For example, in this class there is a research paper that is worth 20% and 3 assignments that are worth 30% total, or 10% each. All are in the assignment category. So I will need to create a separate category specifically for the research paper. To do this, I will click Create Category. I will name it, and then click Submit. Now you can see that the research paper category has been added, but there are no columns that are tied to the research paper category. To do this, I will need to go back to the Full Grade Center, find research paper and click the little caret next to the name, click on Edit Column Information, and then I'll have to scroll down and change the category from assignment to research paper, and then click Submit. Now, when you go back into the categories area, you can see that the research paper has now been tied to the research paper category and the assignments remained tied to the assignment category. You can also create categories for graded items that are not automatically added to the grade center, such as an in-class paper and pencil final exam. So to do this, you will create a separate column for it. So we will do Create Category, give it a title, and click Submit. You also need to add a column for the final exam by going to the Full Grade Center, clicking Create Column, filling in the column name, a description if you want, and changing the primary display from score to percentage, and then selecting the appropriate category and including the possible points. You can then change the due date or any options for the final exam and then click Submit. Now when you go back into the Manage tab and Categories, you can see that a final exam category was created and it is tied to the final exam column. Once all of your graded items have been created and put into correct categories, the next step is to create a weighted column so that the graded items reflect the correct percentages. To do this, click Create Calculated Column and then select Weighted Column. Now you can create a weighted column so that the graded items reflect the correct percentages. So to do this, give it a column name, a description if you want, leave the primary display as percentage. Then you will scroll down to Step 3, Select Columns. From here you will select the specific categories that apply to your course. For example, the research paper in this class is worth 20% of the final grade. So I would select Research Paper under Categories to Select, and then click on the little arrow, and it will now be under the Selected Columns area. Here I will put in the weighted percent for the class, for the research paper, and then you will have to do this for all of your categories. When you are done, you need to make sure that all of your category percentages add up to 100%. Now that I have put in all of my categories and the correct percentages, you can see that my total weight is equal to 100%. When you are done, You can select any options you want and click Submit. Now, in the overall grade column, the grades for your students will now be reflected of the weighted totals that you have provided in your course. If you want, you can create a weighted column for each category. For example, if I wanted a column to show only the grading of assignments, then I would create a weighted column, title it Then I would select the assignment category and make it worth 100%. This will give students the ability to see their grades reflected in each category with the correct total. Then click Submit, and you can do that for any of the categories you want for your course. If you want to rearrange the order of your columns, click on the Manage button, Column Organization, and then you can drag and drop the columns to organize them how you want. The two that are frozen are last name and first name, and you can drag anything else around below it to change the order in which you see them. And when you are done, all you have to do is click Submit. This video has shown you how to create categories and weighted grades and to edit the gradebook in your Blackboard Learn course.